Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Eternal Midnight. I am Santino. I'm here with Chad. How are you, Chad?
Good. What's going on, everybody?
We hope you're having a good midweek. Despite everything that's going on. So right
Hope
now,
everyone is safe and healthy.
yes, and please stay in your homes. Despite with this virus. So right now, we're hoping to give you an interesting midweek episode. We're gonna talk about how we would fix the Star Wars trilogy, the new Star Wars trilogy, the sequels, basically Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, because Chad and I are on the same page with this one. We don't really like Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker that much.
I
I
hate
mean,
both of them. I genuinely hate both of them. I
yeah,
hate Last Jedi more than Rise of Skywalker, and Rise of Skywalker is just a very badly made film, I think. I think it's just rushed, full of just remember this? Like, oh my gosh. It feels just so lazy and slapped together. I don't think J.J. Abrams even has any pride in it.
yes, true, true, true. All right, but so Force Awakens though we're okay with, right? I think that's
So, Force Awakens, I I can't really think of any changes I would personally want to make to it. Because I still enjoy Force Awakens. I think it does have enough different from it than some of the haters really give it credit for. Is it a carbon copy of A New Hope? No. Does it
no, it's
have a
not.
lot of elements from A New Hope? Yes. Just kind of told in a different way. And maybe we'll do this one another time, but Phantom Menace has a lot of similarities in it also
Oh
to A
yeah,
New Hope, if you think about it. So that just almost seems to be a Star Wars trope at this point. And plus, after the prequels didn't really go over so well with the fans, they were kind of doing a let's remind people, I think, is what they were going for with Force Awakens. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't, but hey, it made Disney $2 billion, so they didn't care whether we liked it or not.
yeah, true. I mean, like more of more of to me, Force Awakens. I like it. I like everything until the third act. To me, I this is how it would have gone down for me. Force Awakens to me would have been better. In all honesty, I think it's a better concept if Rey, the scavenger, who's unsure of her destiny, was seduced by the dark side by Snoke, and she turned bad, and Kylo Ren, who was never really into the dark side, was just there because Snoke seduced him, went back to the light. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's honestly that's what I was hoping for out of Last Jedi was I wanted to see something like that. Let's even though I wasn't a fan of it, of who her parents were being nobodies, just for them to retcon it later. I almost thought, okay, fine, if you're gonna go the nobody route, perfect. She has no reason to show loyalty to the good side. Luke Skywalker just treated her like garbage. What loyalty does she have to the light side of the Force? None.
None.
That
Exactly.
almost would have made more sense for her to switch sides and get seduced by the dark side because she doesn't need loyalty anywhere. She doesn't have to feel a sense to do what's right. And that's when, like you said, Kylo Ren could have flipped back. And that moment we saw it in The Last Jedi when he wouldn't kill his mother. It's almost like, and the way Snoke was just berating him and treating him. It's like, this is the chance to flip flop these two. That would have been
The best
um,
expectation subversion.
exactly, because you were expecting Rey to stay good. You were expecting Kylo Ren to stay bad. And what did they do? They just, boom, the movie ends and Rey's all powerful.
Yeah,
And
that's
Kylo Ren is now he is evil, but oh God, they were so consistent with his character.
that's the thing. Like to me, what I would have done if I made the sequels would have been this. Everything stays the same for Force Awakens except for the third act. We have Finn, we have Kylo Ren, we have Rey, exactly where they are. Exactly where they are, where they're supposed to be. But
Hmm.
by the end, let's say Force Awakens in the third act, Han Solo convinces Kylo Ren like, hey, you're not a bad guy. You're just being seduced by the dark side. That's what Snoke wants you to think. And Kylo Ren says, okay, yeah, you're right. I'm done. And then Snoke, like, not in the form of a hologram, comes down to Scarlet Killer base and says, Ben Solo, you were weak anyway. I found a new apprentice, someone more powerful, and he points to Rey. It's like, come with me, I can reveal the truth about your parents. And Rey being naive and like wanting to know where her place is like, yeah, okay. And then she's the one that can kill Han Solo. I think that would have been amazing. This whole time you spend with Rey, like you think, oh, she's this good girl, and then like the third act, like she immediately becomes bad and she like wipes Han Solo from existence because Harrison Ford doesn't want to do another one, right? So we take her, we have her kill Han Solo. Rey becomes the bad guy. Kylo Ren goes back to imagine that Kylo Ren, the guy who destroyed Luke Skywalker's temple, comes back to be trained properly. Like, isn't that insane? What do you think about that?
It would have been a much deeper story, I think, for Kylo Ren of falling and returning, and now having to possibly train under Luke again. But Luke obviously still weary of could he flip again. I think I would have saved that still for later. I think me personally, I would have kept Force Awakens the way it was. Like I'm fine with it because it opened the door to so many other possibilities. And I like when I remember we went and saw Last Jedi, it was just, I remember my theater was like silent when Luke threw the lightsaber over his shoulder. I was like, I think they wanted us to laugh at that. And I'm like, I don't see anything funny about that. And yeah, it's like, while I didn't want a stereotypical story of just paint by numbers, we know exactly what's going to happen, the way they went about it, I'll never enjoy. If you do, props to you, I guess, but I don't. And I didn't like what they reduced Luke to
Oh,
at all.
yeah. Yeah, I would have changed why he left. Like, I'm fine with him leaving the Jedi Order because of something bad that happened, but him him going after Ben Solo, killing him just because he had a possible vision of a possible future.
I
When
mean, this is Luke Skywalker. This is the same guy who saw the goodness in his father and surrendered himself in Return of the Jedi just so he could face him and talk with him. I mean, he risked his own life to try and save his father's, and then he was just about to murder his nephew.
right, exactly. Like that doesn't make any sense. It's not Luke. That's not who Luke Skywalker is. Like if you're gonna have him leave the Jedi Order and be disconnect from the Force, again, good concept, but you have to give like a solid reason why he left. Like why did he leave?
Mm-hmm.
It's like yeah, when I watched Force Awakens, I was curious like why did he leave? We get why okay, he turned against him and like okay yeah fine, but what caused Kylo Ren to turn against him?
Yeah,
And
that was never really delved into at all. They never discussed why Kylo Ren turned, did they? I mean, I've only seen Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker once each, and that's more than enough for me.
yeah, they discussed why Kylo Ren turned bad, and
Yeah, but
according
how was he seduced by Snoke?
oh no, they didn't discuss that.
I mean, like, did he know Snoke?
No,
Did
they
he
don't.
hear the voice? Well, don't forget, Snoke wasn't really Snoke. It was the Emperor the whole time.
Oh God, I hate that change.
I hate Rise of Skywalker.
That's what I would have changed. No Palpatine. Like Palpatine's dead.
That was so bad. I can't believe they thought that was going to be their saving grace.
Palpatine is dead. He was.
Exactly, he died. All this bullcrap with clones and oh my gosh, it's
He
like,
was
and then
thrown.
like that, everyone, oh my, look, they're making the Snoke clones. Why didn't he just use the stuff from Camino? That looked far more technological advanced than what he had on whatever his planet was
And
called.
the prequels were years before Rise of Skywalker. So yeah, I don't.
And
I
and once the clones were even discovered in Attack of the Clones, didn't it basically like Camino become like a government planet at that point? Like this is the source of all our clones? And
yeah.
if any of the answers are going to be, oh, the extended universe explained it before Disney bought everything, well, that all got thrown out. So what happened to Camino? Why, what? None of it makes, oh,
I
okay.
mean, like if the Emperor took over, I mean, after Revenge of the Sith, he could have used Camino to make clones of himself if they were going that route, and like store them. And if he died, there's another one. You know,
Right, which is still stupid because it's like, well, at that point, if you can make a clone of yourself and the powers of the Force pass on,
you're
just
invincible.
make a million Palpatines. There's your entire army. Why are you even? And why did he even bother with Snoke anyways? What was the point?
There was no point.
There wasn't. It just retconned everything,
That's
and
the
it was
thing, you know, like
so dumb.
have
None of the new trilogy fits with each other. They're all so bro. It's like people can say whatever they want about the prequels, about how some of them are bad or they're not that good. I have way more respect for the prequels than I ever will for this trilogy.
yeah.
Because at least the prequels were consistent. Lucas probably should have had another writer with him or a more experienced director make them, probably. But you know what? At least all three of them were consistent with each other because they were written and directed by the man who had the vision. And that is where they went wrong. That's where Disney went majorly wrong with Star Wars was they didn't plan the sequels out. I mean, obviously you can't plan for deaths like when Carrie Fisher passed away. You can't plan for something like
Can't
that.
plan for that, yeah.
But at the same time, none of this trilogy fits with each other. Like none of it makes any sense to me. So and especially it's even other stuff too. It's like Finn's character, he's introduced as an ex-stormtrooper turned good.
That's such a good concept wasted.
They did nothing with it. Nothing.
Dude,
I mean,
like
his whole existence in Last Jedi was pointless.
dude, like no dude, that was such an interesting concept that they wasted. Like never in the entire Star Wars until right now we see a defective stormtrooper. I was like, wow, that is unique. And they did nothing with it. Like
Nothing.
all they did was have Finn scream Rey for the next two movies. Like Finn was awesome in Force Awakens. Like the way he went back like on his beliefs to help Rey was so well done. And they did
Mhm.
nothing with it. They did
And
not.
then exactly. And then another character that they did absolutely nothing with that I don't even understand why she was in these movies at all was Phasma.
Oh god.
Why introduce this awesome looking female stormtrooper and then you do nothing with her? Absolutely nothing. And then you just kill her off. What was the point? Why was she even there then? She attributed nothing. And I thought she was going to be a main character through the whole thing. I was like, look at this, an awesome female villain on the side of the Empire, or whatever, the First Order. And then they do nothing with her. They dump her down a trash can, and then she falls to her death into some fire. I was like, what was the point of her then?
Yeah, like they hyped her up so much and like, oh my god, yeah, we're gonna it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna hype him up and like hype her up. Like this is Phasma, and she has one fight in Last Jedi, and that's it. Like I don't understand. Like to be honest, the way Finn's arc should have been was like a guy on YouTube described as perfect, so I'm borrowing from him. Okay, but Finn should have been. It should have been like this. Finn fights Phasma and nearly gets his ass kicked in Force Awakens. Last Jedi, he trains hard. You know, he works hard. He beats Phasma into a stalemate in Last Jedi. Rise of Skywalker should have been the time where he triumphs over Phasma. Like Phasma's this enemy that he always has.
And she hates him because he defected and has gotten away from her.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like now it's a personal vendetta, or another stormtrooper was his friend and she publicly executes him so he can see it. Now they really hate each other. Now they have because honestly, the only reason she doesn't, I mean, all it is, oh, he defected. Well, that's not really a rivalry because they didn't expand on what hatred they could have had for each other other than he's just another stormtrooper who quit. I mean, that's all he became. And it's like they didn't have a relationship between the two of them.
Yep. Uh,
Who's another character?
oh,
Okay, this one I thought was built up great in Force Awakens, and then they just tore him down. Every movie after that was General Hux.
oh yeah. Oh my God.
They
They would.
set up Hux to be so cool, I thought. Like literally, it was him and Ren were like equals. And you could tell neither of them liked each other all of Force Awakens, but they were equals to each other under Snoke, which I liked. And then Last Jedi just made
Him an
Hux
idiot.
an incompetent idiot, and he was treated with zero respect. And then JJ just basically replaced his character with another strong general and then killed him. I was like, another character wasted.
Oh God. Hawk was a wasted. Domhnall Gleeson is such a good actor, and they did nothing with him. Like
Nothing.
seriously, why do you have like so much good actors? You have John Boyega, Gwendolyn Christie, Domhnall Gleeson, who I've seen in other films, and they do way much more in that than in those in
Yeah.
this one. Like, for example,
I liked Laura Dern more in Marriage Story than I liked her in this.
like
She
okay,
was
here,
one of the worst characters I've ever seen. I mean, her character served no purpose other than an awful twist. She
Chad,
had no reason to be the way she was in Last Jedi. None.
Chad, here, Chad, listen to this, okay? I'm not sure if you know this. Domhnall Gleeson plays Bill Weasley in the last two Harry Potter films.
Mm-hmm.
He plays more. He has more screen time and more relevance there than in this Last Jedi in the entire three movies.
What was who? Where? What? Oh, wait. Was that Hux?
Who?
No. Who are you talking about?
Hux.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah, it's him. In Harry Potter, he's there. The last two,
Wow.
he's there. Like since HP's your next franchise, and you might rewatch it. Deathly Hallows Part 1, Part 2, he's there. He's Bill Weasley. And he has more screen time and more to do than in the entire Star Wars trilogy.
It was just so. The problem was they just didn't. I don't understand why they didn't plan this out from the start.
There was no
I mean,
planet
it was so stupid. Why wouldn't you plan this whole trilogy out and know where you're going? I mean, take a leaf out of your own MCU playbook. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, freaking plan.
Feige plans it. I mean, Kennedy just doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't.
She doesn't. She needs to be fired, I swear.
She needs to go. They need to put people in charge going forward who actually care.
In charge. Like right now, honestly, Clone Wars is getting so much good hits right now because it's like this final. I know you don't watch it, but like it's like this final chapter that's been planned out since the beginning. Like, dude, really? I'm serious. Why don't you plan this out, man? I mean, like, Mandalorian. How is Mandalorian getting more attention than the main trilogy? Honestly, like,
Because it's better.
like people are like right now the new Star Wars trilogy. What is being quoted? What is memorable from the new Star Wars trilogy? Or
Nothing.
No.
The only thing I'm ever going to remember from the new trilogy going forward is that it's like killed my hype and enjoyment of Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Because one, I don't like Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker, but at the same time, the fan base is also doing it again. If someone asks, I'll say I don't like them, but I don't go out of my way to announce I don't like them. But I'm also getting fans who are, I mean, I've gotten death threats from Star Wars fans because I don't like Last Jedi. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? These are just stupid movies. Grow up. Why do you care if I don't like it or not?
Yeah.
Like, geez, you love it. Congratulations. I've also given plenty of reasons why I don't like it. You don't have to get so upset. The movies aren't going to disappear from existence because I don't like them or something. They're always going to be there for you to enjoy. So it's like the my memories are just going to be of how I just really don't care about Star Wars anymore. I mean, I don't. I'll always have fond memories of the original trilogy. I grew up watching the prequels. Um, and I just no, I don't get. There's no enjoyment in Star Wars anymore. It feels like.
Yeah, I feel like it feels like this franchise just needs to to stop.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's a moneymaker, so it's not going to stop. But at the same time, it's like this whole trilogy was an example of
have a
just
plan.
completely bad management and how they did it all wrong.
No, because like this, JG, I think let's give JG some credit, all right? He had a
He
plan.
started good and he had a plan, and Johnson threw it out. And for all you Johnson fanboys out there, he's done an interview. I don't remember exactly what one it is, but he's done an interview where he said he does not like working with already established franchises. So he probably never should have been hired to begin with because he didn't work with what was established. He did whatever he wanted and just took stuff that was already pre-established and went nowhere with it because he didn't want to. And that's on Kathleen Kennedy's shoulders also, where she shouldn't have allowed that at all.
You shouldn't. Yeah, it doesn't make sense why they would. It doesn't make sense. I think Daisy really said in one interview that when Johnson came on to direct Episode 8, he scrapped every single idea that JG had, and that was already supposedly to be established.
Yep.
So like, why he felt the need to do that, I have no idea.
Because that's just how he is. And then the way he acted after it came out was the most childish thing I've ever seen. Attacking people on Twitter for not liking the movie. It's like, dude, you're a grown man. Act like an adult. Don't start in Hollywood if you can't handle some criticism.
Yeah.
I mean, that's anything in the public eye. If you can't handle criticism, don't get in the public eye because you're going to get criticism no matter what. It just comes down to how well you can handle it, and he's proven he couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And I hope they keep him far away from Star Wars going forward.
Or any franchise in general, dude. I don't want him
Yeah, if he wants to go make new ideas like Knives Out, do it.
Yeah.
But it's like if you don't like working with franchises, don't work with them.
In all honesty, that has gotten a lot of great reviews from people. I haven't seen it yet, but supposedly
go start your own lore. Go start your own franchise with your own rules that you establish and you're completely in control of.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, this is why the number one I think I hate with established lore is when authors or directors go back on it and act like it's nothing. Like, no. Like, okay, I haven't seen the Alien franchise, but from what you say, Covenant like completely goes against it. So I'm like, okay, I have to watch 1, 2, 3 just to see what happens and why it goes against that. But for example, like, okay, I'm gonna get crucified for this. When J.K. Rowling made Harry Potter and the Cursed Child and made Hermione black, that goes against everything that was in the books because she's white there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why you have felt the need to do that to change just the pander? I hate that. Like, don't. That's not against lore.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, so with the sequel trilogy, it's just a lot of it just probably should have had better planning. And yeah, while it's fun discussing changes we would like to have seen, I don't know. It's more memories than of what could have been, as opposed to what we actually got. And like I said, what we got, I'm frankly not too happy with. I mean, Force Awakens I like, Rogue One I love, Last Jedi I hate. Solo is I don't even really have an opinion on Solo because it's got some good stuff, some stupid stuff. But it's forgettable for me. I don't think I'm ever gonna watch it again. And Rise of Skywalker is just a mess. So I don't know. That's what happens when you don't. That's what happens when you don't plan stuff. When you set stuff up. If you like the Friday the 13th movies, you'll see these when you watch them someday. They weren't planning each one was made with the intention of, we're done after this, or this could be the last one, or we might not make more. And those were just made, each one individually. But this, they had a trilogy, and Force Awakens was full of stuff that was obviously pre-planned out, that should have panned out and should have been seen, but none of it worked. Like, it just didn't work because they didn't plan stuff properly and do it properly, and I don't understand why. There was no rush to get Force Awakens out when it came out. Why couldn't they have just waited another year?
Yeah, I understand why they couldn't just like the minute they bought. When did they buy Star Wars? 2015? No. They bought Star Wars 2013, right?
I don't remember, to be totally honest.
But like,
I think so.
They should have waited to like plan out their story.
Exactly. Or why didn't they just, or Lord of the Rings style, do them all at once? Boom, there. Now you've got this giant flowing narrative to work with.
No, DC.
And I'm sure it would have been better.
No, sorry. Disney has an IP that does that exactly. MCU. They could have taken a page out of their book and have Feige plan Star Wars for a bit.
Yeah. Or somebody else. Take one of his proteges or something.
Yeah, like the writers of Infinity War, Marcus and McFeely. Dude, like, really? You can't? It's just so stupid. And like, as we talk about this, I'm so happy that it's done because it really just gave me a headache. Like, I really like Force Awakens, and eventually it just fizzled out.
Yeah, I mean, I almost think that this is how a lot of the DC haters felt when Zack Snyder was removed. They were like, thank God. And while I like the stuff Snyder did, and I still like DC stuff going forward, I think that's how this feels, where we're just at the point where we're just like, we're done with the Kathleen Kennedy regime of things. Yeah, because I'm done with the way she's done stuff. Like she's proven she doesn't know what she's doing. And I mean, going out and saying, like, oh, the Force is female. Grow up. Stop pushing your stupid agenda with these movies. Knock it off. Stop acting like female heroes and female action leads are something new. They've been around for a long time. It's not the public's fault that people have not taken to them as well as they have. Right. Because that's what it felt like they were pushing with Rose. And I mean, I don't agree that they did it with Rey, because while I don't think she's the strongest protagonist of Star Wars, I still enjoy her. So I don't have a problem with Rey. I just have a problem with how they handled her.
Rey had a good concept. I like the fact that but honestly, Rian Johnson, despite me not liking the movies, did one thing right. I like the fact that she's a nobody, because you don't have to be Skywalker to be related to the Force. You can be your own person.
Yeah, and then they undid it by making her a Palpatine.
Yeah, like, oh, that's awful. That's what I hate.
That's why I just hate this whole trilogy. The first one sets up a bunch of stuff. Fine. The second one throws almost all of it out. The third one throws out almost everything the second one set up instead. So, just such a disjointed mess. I don't get it.
Hopefully, like, we discussed why we tried to how we would fix it, but in all honesty, like, we're not
because it's too broken.
There's no fixing this mess. Like, we've tried, honestly.
And if you love them, have at it. But at the same time, it's like there's so many other possibilities of how it could have been better. Because obviously I don't speak for everyone, but I feel like a lot of people who claim that these movies are like amazing are just saying it because they're Star Wars fanboys. And it's like, there's plenty of franchises I love that I can admit that there's bad ones. You don't have to love everything just because it's part of a franchise you love.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't really know what to say about it. I mean, I'm not a fan of them, and I think a lot of it's a mess, but what can you do?
Yeah, so, like, with the sequel trilogy, I think, eventually, like, people love it, and if you do, more power to you, but, we have to, like, what's done is done, and people will like what they want. And in my opinion, though, personally, the fact that it's so disjointed, people will just stop talking about it. Like Rise of Skywalker, after it's not,
I
it
don't
wasn't
know
even
anyone talking about it anymore.
it was not even talked about. Period. Like when it came out, like no one really gave a shit.
I don't even remember anyone making a big deal when it hit the billion. I don't think
Yeah,
I even remember anybody going, "Oh my gosh, it hit the billion," because no, I don't know. It just felt like nobody cared.
yeah, no one gave a damn because Last Jedi really ruined the story. I mean,
Yep.
like when Last Jedi came out, people were hyped because we finally would get like answers to the questions that were set up in Force Awakens. Who is Snoke? Who is Rey's parents? Why did Luke Skywalker leave? And we were given bad answers. I'm,
Well,
not- I'm
and
not,
the numbers of Solo speak louder than anything anyone can say. Solo
yeah,
tanked. That shows you where the Star Wars community was at. Because I've seen lots of people be like, Last Jedi is amazing and everybody thinks that. Well, then why did nobody go see Solo? If all these
yeah.
people loved what they were doing with Star Wars so much, why did the next Star Wars movie do as bad as it did?
How did Deadpool 2 make more money?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, like right now, I mean, like as Star Wars goes forward, I really feel like the original trilogy and even to an extent the prequels will be talked about more than this Disney-fied this Disney-fied sequel. So yeah, I think
Yep.
Chad and I have tried to try to fix it, but as we go through this entire podcast, we really can't fix this one because
Nope.
it's just a mess. It really is a mess.
Exactly.
It started out great. Everything was wiped away. JJ tried to salvage it, but in the end, it just wasn't enough.
Right.
Like the only way they could have salvaged it perfectly was if they made a 9 and a 10 and said, "Oh, 8 was just a bad Force vision."
Wouldn't
But they're not.
have
But
bothered me. Would not
I
have
would
bothered
have,
me in the slightest.
I would have preferred that, but they didn't do that.
So
So anyway,
we'll dive into the individual films and we got these set up. I think a Star Wars month coming up in a few months.
yeah.
So we'll dive into each individual trilogy in their own episodes. So for now, yeah, Star Wars, wow. Don't even know what to say about it. Other than, yeah, thank you, Disney, for kind of
Destroying the.
wrecking my enjoyment of Star Wars.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So
I think that's about it for this episode.
yeah. Yep. So guys, if you tell, tell us what you think about tell us what you think about this new trilogy. I mean, like, you like it? More power to you. You hate it? We can relate. So, in the end, drop us your comments. What do you think? How would you have changed it? Would you have made Kylo Ren a good guy, Rey a bad guy? Would you have given Finn more screen time? Would you have kept Palpatine? Let us know in the comments below. You know, and hopefully
Exactly.
we will. Hopefully when we talk about Star Wars in the future, it will be we can reminisce more about the good times and
Yeah.
not bad.
Maybe we'll I was gonna say I think the order we were gonna do them in is like original trilogy, sequel, prequel trilogy, then sequel trilogy.
And
It will
spin-offs.
go backwards. Maybe we'll start with the sequel
Oh
trilogy.
god, yeah.
So we can just get them out of the way and then we can have fun talking about the rest of them.
Yes.
So, okay, guys, I'm Chad and I'll talk to you later.
And I'm Santino, and I'll see you around. Bye, guys.